and I am required to say that by law. So, Huds, if you would like to take things away, give us a countdown and we'll start things up whenever you want.
Thanks very much, Matt. I'm just vibing here to this awesome kind of like island theme. So yeah, welcome back everyone. The final run in our Sonic block today. We are running Sonic 3 Angel Island Revisited. We're doing the Sonic and Tails glitch category now. And the hardest thing for me is to try and remember that I'm not playing Knuckles, I'm playing Sonic and Tails, and I can glitch in this one. Before we get started, first off, I want to introduce my commentator for this one. We have the second fastest runner in this category, who beat my time a couple of weeks ago. Please welcome BenInSweden. Hello. The other thing, I just need to double check that my controls are correct, which they are. We've also, as you can hear, we have this amazing sound effects pack. RPG Hidden Wizard, my commentator from the previous run, made this incredible Colin enhancement pack where he has replaced every sound effect in this game with his own voice. Hopefully you're going to enjoy this. We're going to have a lot of fun during this run. So, let's get ourselves ready. Countdown, 3, 2, 1, let's go. So, Sonic 3 Angel Island Revisited. What on earth is this? Well, it is a fan-made remake of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, made by Eukaryote, and he has built this custom game engine to kind of give it a load of quality of life updates and kind of bring it up to more modern standards. So the first thing you'll notice, we're playing widescreen. We also have new things such as the ability to mod, so we can put in music mods, but we can also play as different characters. For Sonic, we have the Super Peel Out, and we have the Drop Dash abilities from Sonic Mania available to us, and Sonic CD. And we also have Tails Flight Assist from Sonic Mania as well, which we're going to make a lot of use of later on. But Ben, is there anything else that Eukaryote's changed in this game that I've forgotten to mention at this point? I'm sure there is.
Yes, you can skip the time bonuses at the end. If you remember, Huds was saying about at the end of each stage in Sonic and Knuckles, there was a countdown. This one you just skip past it, which Huds will be showing very shortly here. And he's killed Tails as well, which is possibly an Air exclusive thing because Tails controls a little bit differently in this. There you go. The time bonus just went down in like 2 frames or something.
Why zombie Tails? So yeah, the other thing we have as well is the ability to in-game menu in this one. So you're going to see me making great use of that to skip the cutscenes. And also we use it to try for a very specific trick known as FPR, the Frame Perfect Reset. You're going to see me attempt that for the first time next up in Hydrocity Act 1. So I'm sure Ben will talk a little bit more about it then. But for now, we're working our way through Angel Island Act 2. Both Angel Island zones at the moment completely glitchless for Sonic and Tails, so we just get to enjoy this. So
another option is that they sped up this bombing cutscene that's coming up as well. Well, it's an option actually. You can use the original or you can use the sped up version, which gives it a bit more of a challenge. It's not all that difficult, but it saves 10 seconds in the speedrun, so it's definitely worth people going for.
Yeah, so you can see I can't just run right, the bombs now go in front of me, so I actually need to avoid them. It's one of those nice quality of life improvements where it stops it being an auto-scroller. It actually gives you something to do during the section. You're going to see this again a few more times throughout where they sped things up or slightly tweak things to make it a bit more of a challenge. And a bit more enjoyable. So just a well-timed jump here to get 8 quick hits on Robotnik. Grab the capture while it's still in the air. And that's Angel Island done. And here we're going to use the menuing for the first time. So we'll just exit out of the game and go back into it, and we're in Hydrocity Act 1. So using that Tails Flight Assist now to get us up into Tails' route. This one is much faster than taking Sonic's route. Just working our way up to the top. So Ben, just while I'm going through this, do you want to just explain FPR for everyone?
Yes, it was discovered by accident by 3 Gotistical when Huds, Argic and a few other people were doing a Sando 100 race where they played Sandopolis 100 times over. And basically in the exact frame before the game switches over to Act 2, you need to do restart of the act or checkpoint. And what it does is it allows you to replay the first act over again as Act 2. If he goes too early, he has to redo from where his last checkpoint was, which is generally just before the boss. If he's too late, then he has to play Act 2. Let's see if he can get it.
No, 1 frame late. That's okay, so it just means we play Act 2 instead. We're going to start off with a wall clip here.
This is one of the reasons why Huds went to check his controls at the start, because having the roll jump control lock turned on from like Sonic 3 and Knuckles allows that to be done a lot easier. It's still possible with it turned off, but you need to use Tails to grab you at a certain point and essentially pull you into the wall. And people just find it easier to just turn on roll jump control lock and get through it that way. Huds is one that goes and turns it off again after he's finished Hydro, because whilst there are other uses for it in the game, Huds isn't going to be making much use of them. Ooh, just squeezing under that barrel there.
So, important reason to always know your cycles. Those barrels there, if you don't know whether it's going to be up or down and whether you should be going above it or below it, that can be really tricky. I've also forgotten to get rid of my bubble shield, which is going to cause me all sorts of problems here. But that's okay. We'll just do that. So, Tails, come back here, please. We'll make use of Tails and try and get a quick kill this way. It's a bit trickier. Normally there's a setup for this, but I completely forgot to get rid of my bubble shield. There we go. That's Hydro 2 Hydro Act 2 dealt with. So once again, skip
Marble Garden.
Gonna go turn that setting back off.
Yeah, Marble Garden. Here we have an instance of slope glitch, which basically happens when Sonic or any character has the object that they are standing on unexpectedly removed from them. So Huds is going to take a very specific route here to get to these columns that are stacked on top of each other. He's going to use the fire shield that he's just picked up to break the top one. He's going to take a quick shortcut here through the mud, which occurs if you spin dash onto that spinner. Yeah, he's just going to be going left here to get to these columns. He'll break the top one, and then he's going to get Tails to break the bottom one, and then you'll see that Sonic just starts floating in midair and allows him to go through walls.
Walls, floors, ceilings, they are all merely suggestions in a Sonic 2D game. So we're getting ourselves into the loopback area here, where the level's loaded, but it's kind of not loaded, and we're now just going to start doing some really weird things, so see if we can time this. Ooh, just. There we go. So Ben, what is going on here?
Basically, Marble Garden 1 and 2 share the same event triggers, and basically when Huds is in the position of the Marble Garden 2 boss where it is in its level but in Act 1 and has activated him, and then slope glitch there was used to be able to remain on this level. As you can see, he fell down as soon as he jumped, break the capsule, but it allows him to spin dash into the boss and kill it in 8 hits essentially, although you get loads more hits than that when you're doing this strat, because he doesn't actually get below 1 hit remaining until after he flies off screen. Yeah, and there's a speedrunner jail there as well that you can get stuck in if you're not careful.
Yeah, you gotta be very careful, otherwise you're basically replaying that level from scratch. You will have noticed as well that because we defeated the Act 2 boss, it triggers the Act 2 sunset cutscene, and that is itself the trigger to load Carnival Night Act 1. So that just allows us, by defeating the Act 2 boss in Act 1, we just skip Act 2 entirely and come straight into Carnival Night. So glitchless Carnival Night Act 1, already disposed level. We now have the boss here. Slightly different boss to the rest of them. He can only damage himself once we've hit him, and he extends out the little spring part of his nose there. But only takes 4 hits, just like that. And this is where I'm going to try again for FPR, because it's much faster to do Carnival Night Act 1 than it is Act 2. So fingers crossed to get this one, otherwise we've got a couple more glitches that we need to do in Act 2 that can be a little bit more tricky to pull off.
Carnival Night 1 is infinitely more easier to do than Carnival Night 2. Let's see.
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
So as you can see, the title card said Carnival Night Act 2, but we are definitely in Act 1. So the game honestly believes that we are doing Act 2 right now, and all the flags and triggers for that have been set. But obviously we just get to replay Act 1, which is around about a minute and a half faster, depending on how well you can do the glitches.
So, and one thing to note is that the game updates the save file at the end of the countdown of Act 2. So in Marble Garden, when he finished that stage, it was the countdown of Act 1, and it skipped over the Act 2 countdown, so the game never saved. So if he restarts at early here, which he won't do, he will have to go back to Marble Garden. But once he's completed this and the countdown is finished, it will update his save file, so then he can move on to Ice Cap. Yeah, Carnival Night 2 here would have been, he would need to have done a thing called barrel clip, which is a fairly difficult trick, and a variation of partner clip, which we'll see next in Flying Battery?
Flying Battery, I believe, yeah. There you see it's updated. We are now in Ice Cap Act 1. And we've got the snowballing section, about 20 seconds here. So Matt, if you've got anything quick you want to say, now you have 20 seconds to do so.
We do indeed have a donation.
Amazing.
It is £10 from Lakis. Good luck for the second run, HUDs. Crab, 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 crab.
Thank you,
Crab.
Lakis. Amazing. Right, grabbing the checkpoint there for safety as a marathon strat, because the game does have a habit of potentially crashing on this trick. We're going to be using slope glitch once more. I'm going to be trying to get slope glitch in order to basically skip most of the level. Just like that. We're going to jump again, we're going to hold left, we're going to go down here, I'm going to go into a roll, and Sonic is now going to just disappear. And we are now zipping across this level, and because I've got the checkpoint, I need to make sure that I jump out of this at a particular point. Just here. There we go. And we're already at the end of the level, at least in the end of level tunnel. I'm just going to stand this spring to get rid of slope glitch, and we're in the boss area already. And that's Ice Cap 1, aside from the boss. Gonna make use of the Tails flight assist here just to get 6 quick hits on the boss. Job done, nice and easy.
Yeah, that trick saves about 45 seconds. Doing level normally.
Alright, Ice Cap Act 2. So this one is glitchless. It's one of my favourite ones to run when it goes well. We're going to take the top path here, and we're grabbing the lightning shield as well because it will come in very handy during this. Now we need to be a little bit careful during Ice Cap Act 2. Some of these slopes, like that one there, can occasionally cause us some problems with some subpixels. Occasionally they're our friend, more often than not they are our foe. We're going to jump out of this
one coming up, which is the most crucial one.
This one right here. And we got through safely.
Yeah, that one, subpixel can just stop you dead there, which means you can't take the top route. Well, you can, it wastes time because he could get Tails to fly him up, or the other option is to take the bottom path.
Gonna take that save, lost all my speed out of the first one. You can usually get through that in one go, but I lost all my speed. But the other thing it helps with is this boss, because we can just jump up using the lightning shield and get our 8 quick hits, and that's Ice Cap 2 dealt with. So coming up next is Launch Base Act 1, and in this one we have a frame-perfect trick that we have to do to enable slope glitch. So I will let Ben explain while I try and get this.
Yes, the developers of this tried fixing a bug that's in Sonic 3 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles, where basically these elevators would eject you straight out, and it was discovered by accident that if you jump out of it essentially frame perfectly before it comes on screen, you get slope glitch out of it, which we then find quite handy to be able to navigate straight to the boss room and being able to skip Launch Base Act 2. So even, I think we calculated this before, even taking like 10 or so tries is still faster than doing levels. I think it was even more than that, wasn't it, Hugs?
I think it's somewhere upwards of 15, maybe more. You lose 20 seconds each time you fail this, basically.
Yeah. And Act 1 takes about 2.5 minutes, I think, and Act 2 takes about 3, I want to say.
Give or take, yeah. So yeah, this one's definitely one of the tricky ones to do. For anyone who tries to learn this run, this is the one that takes them hours to learn. As you can see, causing a few problems here at the moment, but again, I'm not too worried about this. It is still faster to keep attempting this than it is to just run these 2 levels normally, because we can effectively skip the vast majority of the first level and the entirety of Launch Base Act 2. Just a frame late every time. But yeah, this is launch base hell that we are in, and it's a very familiar feeling to many Sonic 3S speedrunners.
Yep, for sure. Sometimes you get it and you like get it multiple times in a row, and then you just can't get it for like 10 attempts or so.
Yeah, my practice run, I got it first time and then made a mistake, and then it took me another 4 minutes to get it. There we go.
There we go.
Finally got it. Okay, so now I'm going to do a very... It's still not... I mean, no trick is free in speedrunning, but this one is particularly difficult. We are not safe until this is all done. So a very particular set of movements happening now.
So he wants to get a large amount of speed to pass through that elevator there, and then he wants to slow down, although I think he may have... Oh, yeah, you got past it.
There we go.
I didn't see the top corner part, so you got through that a lot quicker than I was expecting.
So you'll notice we're now in Knuckles' boss, and there's 2 of these to defeat, but because we're playing a Sonic, the game only requires us to defeat 1 of these for the level to be considered complete. So you can see we've just defeated 1, there's the signpost, and we've left 1 alive because we'll use that to complete Act 2. I now just need to time this time bonus completion so that it doesn't hit me at the start of Act 2 and kill me here.
Yep.
There we go.
Because if you jump too soon there, you die as well. So you need to time it quite well.
And the peacock to finish off the Sonic 3 half. So now we're going to go into, oh, bit of deja vu here, except we're not Knuckles this time, we are Sonic. So we're now doing the Sonic and Knuckles half as Sonic. You're going to see all the, I suppose, regular routes. I mean, it's not really right to call them regular. There's nothing irregular about Knuckles at all, but we're basically going to be taking Sonic's routes through this. And the first thing I do is go down here. I'm just going to grab myself some speed shoes, which will help me speed up this next section.
There's not really much to say about Mushroom Hill. It's a fairly technical level, but there are, with Sonic, there's quite a few routes that you can take depending on where the game puts you with certain jumps and stuff. And you still end up around about the same sort of time as well. So, but HUD's here trying to stick to the top route, which is generally the fastest way through the level. And it allows him to pick up a fire shield here as well, rather than picking it up from the boss.
Yeah. So this will be handy not just for defeating the boss, but also for a particular jump in Act 2 that is not impossible without it, but definitely easier if you have it. That's kind of why we pick it up here. But that's Mushroom Hill 1 done. As Ben said, there's many routes through Act 1. Generally, we try and stay on top as the fastest route, but really, it's a case of just go right. No matter where you are, just go right and you'll make it there in the end. Mushroom Hill Act 2 is also glitchless. There is a glitch you can do here. If you're particularly good at it, you can save yourself between 10 and 15 seconds. But I prefer to run these glitchless. I'm not very good at the Mushroom Hill glitch. It's incredibly tricky to do and very easy to lose time on. So we'll just run these normally and enjoy them.
It's another option where you can use FPR as well, but it doesn't really save any time, so it's not really worth going for.
Yeah. There we go. So you would have noticed at the beginning of this level as well that I was able to speed up the cutscene. This is one other quality of life update the developer has made. That certain cutscenes with Knuckles, you can hold a button to basically just fast forward them, which is really nice, especially if you're playing this casually and you've seen them all before. You can just kind of speed up large sections of it. Oh. And typically, my Knuckles brain kicking in there and doing the boss trap for Sonic wrong. I knew that would happen at some point. It was bound to happen. But yeah, exactly the same boss as Knuckles has.
With the drop dash here, it makes, even if you mess up this boss, it's not too bad as well. Whereas if you don't have the drop dash, you got to just try and bounce into the boss a few times with insta-shield and stuff. So, it's a nice little extra feature there with the drop dash.
So we're going to head into Flying Battery 1, and this is going to look very different to what we saw in the previous Sonic and Knuckles run, because we're going to use some glitches here to skip some sections. So the first one here, we're going to do a platform clip. So intentionally take some damage here. I'm going to get in position, take damage again, spin dash under, wait, jump, and through the wall we go to skip the whole under battery section. Grab this checkpoint, restart from that checkpoint to reset all my cycles and Tails. We're going to get Tails flying here, and we're going to do a partner clip. It's going to jump on Tails when he's at the bottom while looking up. Sonic will clip it in to the floor and thus the wall. And we've skipped another big section, all in quick succession. So
the partner clip is basically just panning the screen up, letting Tails fly as well, and then picking you up at the base of his flight, or he bobs up and down, so you do it at the base of there. He will lift you up and then just drop you back down with the camera still panned up into the object below.
Yeah, so it's all about the fact that objects continue to exist when they're off screen, but their hitboxes do not. So with the camera panned up, effectively the hitbox disappears. When you grab onto Tails, as Ben said, the camera goes with you in that kind of up position. So as Tails then drops you back down, you end up inside the object, and the game has to move you outside of the object's hitbox. And to do that, it just pushes you in the wall. And our friend Mr. Tickles...
another copy of Slip Glitch.
Yeah, so you would have seen me at the end there just standing on top of Mr. Tickles. Gapshul is his real name is. And because of the way the game changes from his enemy form to his kind of death form there, it will give you Slope Glitch if you're stood on top of it when it changes. And now we're going to attempt to skip all of Flying Battery Act 2 except for the final boss section.
Yeah, RPG was saying in the previous run that Spider Steve is critical to finishing the game. In this, he's not. Because we're going to just go straight past him.
There we go. So yeah, we're now running essentially on top of the level. I'm just tapping back occasionally just to control Sonic's speed. If he goes too fast, he'll start falling through the level. So I just need to make sure I control it. And you'll see we're now in the boss area. We have some glitchy clouds behind us, and we're just waiting for the platform to catch up. Really nice thing that the developer did in this is actually speed up the platform. So once it gets to a certain point, you would have seen the clouds there just start to move a little bit faster, it seems, and they are, because the platform is now zooming up to grab Sonic as we go and do the boss here.
Slightly different strategy here for this boss compared to Knuckles as well. So just staying on the left hand side and counting for like 9 movements of him coming across, and then just jumping in for the final hits.
And 4, 5, 6.
Hello. Oh, where am I going?
And we're back in Sandopolis Act 1. This time we're going to take the mid route here with Sonic, because we can't climb up. And again, we're going to be trying to beat a particular cycle. It's very tricky to do, but we'll give it a good go. Ooh. I need to be in the sand waterfall in a second within 24 seconds. Oh, I don't think we've quite made it. It's right on the cusp here, so I'm not going to risk it. There it is. I'm not going to risk that. But yeah, that would have been the early cycle for Sonic. It can be very tricky to do.
How many times have you played this level, Hud?
I would say almost 1,000 now. Maybe more. Too many.
Would you say it's your favourite level?
Oh, Sando 1 is definitely my favourite level. I think Sando 2 is my least favourite, which is somewhat polarizing way of looking at a particular zone within a Sonic game.
Missing the jump there. There's a jump that you can do just as you get onto the flat there that allows you to get up here without needing tails.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really tricky jump. There's not much time to actually get it at the end there. But getting that quick drop dash through that block, which saves around 3 seconds. And just heading back up and through, and we're going to be rejoining the path here where Knuckles eventually comes down. Yeah, you can see how costly these blocks are. If you don't make the cycles, just having to wait each time can be really tricky. Now, last time, this boss was an auto-scroller. The pyramid comes up and you just wait for Dwayne Johnson here to jump in the sand. Not so much in the air anymore. When you hit him, he actually slides along the ground. It makes it beneficial to actually fight this boss now. So, we have a particular strat for this. I'm going to intentionally damage boost here. And as he jumps up, I'm going to get inside his hitbox and hit him along. And if I do this right both times, it should be only a 2-cycle boss. There we go.
Nice.
Lovely. So, I'm going to attempt for FPR here again because Sando 2 has a trick in it called Loop Clip. And it is probably, at least for me, the hardest trick in the game. And I hate doing it. So. Oh, I think that's a frame late. It's a frame late. Okay, we're doing Sando 2. No worries. Okay.
Like with Carnival Night, this has a couple of tricks in it. One of them is obviously not as easy as doing Stand Up This One, which is a general just play the stage as intended. There's a thing called Loop Clip, which he will be coming up to shortly, where he needs to get a specific jump out of a loop and then use the lightning shield jump to then get enough height to then be able to fall down into the wall beside the loop. First of all, he's going to just casually fall through the floor here. That's probably one of the most simplest tricks in the game. You just jump from the flat up there and then hold left as you fall down.
Here we go.
So here's the loop clip.
So there's a single frame you can do the lightning jump on and clip into the wall. And if you do, it allows you to skip a very large section of this, but it's incredibly hard to time. There we go. Make sure I don't get crushed by the spikes there. Right, that's the first bit done. Excellent. Now the second bit, we got a partner clip here with Tails.
This is a slightly different variation of the partner clip where you can do it on a moving object that is rising up beneath you. There's a couple of instances where that can be useful as well, which means that you don't need to spend the time panning the screen up. And HUD is taking a specific route hit through here, which is slightly faster. You just climb up through that sandfall, but it also, with a combination of the other two glitches that he's already done, sets up the boss in a very specific way. He has to keep his height a bit low here as well, going through that previous section, which he did fine. But you'll notice that the boss will look kind of different here.
Also, the ghosts aren't going to be going away here. They're going to be sticking around for this bit. So we have Sando Boo, and we have a completely de-shelled Robotnik. Lovely. Tell you what, 231, not too bad for Sando 2 actually, and I think it was 5th or 6th attempt loop clip, which, like I said, can be very tricky to do. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. That's Sando 2 out of the way. We're into Lava Reef. We're going to be doing 3 separate glitches here. The first one is going to be a simple floor clip, and this is one that you guys can definitely try at home if you want to. So, just climbing up the stairs up here. We're going to be going over to a section on the right, and all we're going to do is just stand on the rock in a particular place, do a full jump, Not quite getting the right position. Let's try that again. Do a full jump and tap right. And Sonic just falls through the floor. It really is as simple as that. A full height jump and a tap right. Ben, do you want to explain the next couple of glitches that are going to be coming up in Lava Reef 1?
Yeah, so the next glitch is going to be with one of these elevator things, and basically what the game does is if you get put inside an object, the game tries to push you outside the right of the object normally. And what HUD is going to do is raise this elevator up so that he can spin dash under it, but he can't fit under it while standing. And so when he stands up, he gets pushed into the object, and then the object pushes you into the wall, and then you can just spin dash again to get down lower and just fall through the floor and skip like a whole minute of this level. And this one is another instance of like a partner clip, but because Tails is essentially flying up by that rock up there, constantly moving upwards, it means that the game thinks that Sonic is moving upwards, so when the lava comes up and encapsulates him inside it, it means that you can just jump under it. So basically it just reduces the collision. I think it's because both you're moving upwards and the object beneath you is moving upwards, the game doesn't consider it a collision. As you can see, the black background there is a very specific reason, because we took that separate route there into Knuckles' path. It sets up another glitch at the end of this stage after this boss. But this boss is pretty much the same for Knuckles and Sonic. But HUDs will not be trying to go for the fire shield here because he does not need it for what he's about to do.
So you remember me telling you earlier during that Sonic Knuckles run to remember that bit of path? We've gone through Knuckles' path. That has skipped a flag on the game, which means that the boss arena is not locked in place, which means here for Act 2, we're going to go back left, grab this checkpoint, restart from that checkpoint. We're still in Act 2, but we're now going to replay the Act 1 boss. So we've got about 30 seconds of the exact same thing we've just seen. So Matt, if there's anything else you'd like to read, now you have an opportunity.
I think he disappeared again.
Matt has unfortunately disappeared at the moment, so you guys just get to enjoy a bit more of Heat Arms here. 3 more hits on the boss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. It's fine. We've got another big cutscene coming up in Hidden Palace, so hopefully he's back with us by then and be able to read out any more information or some donations. But for now, that's Act 2 of Lava Reef done. We're going to exit the game again. We're going to go back into it. We are now in Hidden Palace. We're going to do Sonic's Hidden Palace this time. It's a little bit longer than 8 seconds because we're actually going to go and fight Knuckles. And player beware, Knuckles is not the same Knuckles as he is in the original games when it comes to Sonic 3. Yeah, he has been beefed up. He's gone to the gym, and he will kick your behind if you do not know how to fight him. So, get the first hit. Really easy though, we just stand on the right. He'll spin dash into the corner, we bonk him on the head 8 times, and it is as simple as that. But trust me, even seasoned speedrunners can still get this wrong. I have died to Knuckles on more than one occasion, as I know Ben has, and many other speedrunners. Small cutscene skip here, and now we just get to watch out this particular part of the run.
Yeah, there's a message saying Matt is setting up for the next run at the moment.
That's fine. So coming up after Hidden Palace, we're going to have Sky Sanctuary, and we're going to really be making use of Tails' flight assist there. Sky Sanctuary is a vertical level. We don't generally go from left to right, we go up the level, which means we need to effectively fly upwards as fast as possible. There's normally 3 bosses for Sky Sanctuary, but we're going to be skipping all apart from the very last required one. And Tails is going to be our friend to help us do that, and that's why it's always great to bring Tails along.
You hope.
We hope.
He can be a troll as well.
He can be a right little troll if we're not careful. It's I would say that's one of the most interesting aspects about doing a Sonic and Tails run versus a Sonic solo run. It's not always about whether or not Tails is useful, it's about how you manage him during the run. Because sometimes he can be very, very helpful, other times he can be a massive hindrance. So, using Tails to fly up here at the beginning. And jump up, grab us a lightning shield. This is going to help us skip a section later on. And immediately we're going to start using this Tails Flight Assist to get us up the level. And I'm going to try and do a combination of movement here that, if I get this right, will mean that I can beat Tails' respawn in the section just up here. Perfect. So he respawns just as I get up here. I don't have to wait around for him, and he's ready to take me up to the next section.
That's spamming, understand.
You'll notice as well, if you haven't quite heard it yet, the music's slightly different in this. We're running the enhanced music pack for this, which is a music mod. And music mods are allowed during speedrunning, and this is just a collection of remastered, reimagined, and remixed versions of all the music in this game, and it's honestly beautiful. It's one of my most favourite pieces in this pack. But here we are at the final boss. This is Mecha Sonic. 8 hits. We would have seen him just before with Knuckles. Tails helping us out there with a hit, so we did a 6-2 and a 139. That's pretty fast, actually, for a Sky Sanctuary. And now we're on to...
confused with Knuckles, you said final boss.
Oh, yes. It's not the final boss. We have one more to go. So here we are, Death Egg 1. Well, potentially, we will see. So do you want to just explain Death Egg to everyone, Ben, and how we run this?
Yes, another feature there is they open this path up, which used to be just a Tails exclusive path, which people could use with Hypersonic as well, if they knew about it. But they've opened it up for pretty much all characters, so as a complete route, an alternative, which saves about a minute just doing this. This is the last and final chance of doing FPR as well, which is probably the biggest instance of where it saves a lot of time, which speedrunners also find Red-Eye kind of probably one of the trickiest bosses to get consistently. There are strategies out there for people to use, but if Huds gets FPR here, then Red-Eye will be the true final boss as well.
So I'm going to take a tactical checkpoint here, just in case, because if I do go a frame early on this FPR, it will send me back to my last checkpoint, and it's always better to grab the one next to the boss room than it is to go all the way back before the gravity room. So, first part of Red-Eye, 8 hits. Ooh, just getting spiked there. 8 hits to get rid of these orbs with all the spikes. We're just going to damage boost through this. Second part is the platforms, another 8 hits. I think this is the part where most people find the difficulty in defeating Red-Eye.
And Huds is getting the platform manipulation that allows you to get away. 8 hits, nicely done.
Thank you.
Let's see if he can get the final FPR.
And
nice.
the final FPR, beautiful. So we're replaying Death Egg Act 1. This saves around about 2 to 2.5 minutes on the run. So we're going to go through Death Egg Act 1 again. We're going to be fighting Red-Eye. Red-Eye will basically now become the final boss in this run. And the timer will now end when the time bonus finishes counting down at the end of Red-Eye. So back into the gravity room again.
There is actually a way of skipping this gravity room, but it's very difficult, and generally people that go for it in Sonic 3 and Knuckles need to pulse for it. With air, basically pulse strats are very difficult because you can't pulse buffer inputs and things like you can in Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Potentially a fatal mistake here. We will see. I'm not going for the checkpoint. We're just going to try and finish this one out. So, Red-Eye again. Another 8 hits on it. Let's see if we can get all 8 without getting hit by these spikes. Beautiful. There we go. This platform's getting in the way. There's the final hit. So ready on timer. It's going to be when the time bonus finishes. I'll try and count you in for it. So 3, 2, 1, time. And if we exit out of the game, I will show you the save file is clear. That is game complete.
GG's.
Thank you very much. I didn't actually check this beforehand, so we may not have enough time for this. Matt, are you there at the moment?
I am indeed.
So obviously, I believe we've come in around about 5 to 6 minutes under estimate. I don't know if we have time for this, but do we have enough time to do the true ending and just quickly run Death Egg Act 2 so people can see the real ending of this game?
As much as I'd like to say yes, we've got some weird difficulties with the next run in terms of setting up.
Oh no.
So, as much as I'd like to say yes, I would like to get into the setup on the next one so we can have things run smoothly.
That's perfectly fine.
If that's okay. I'm really, really sorry.
No, Matt, it's not a problem at all. Well, look, that's going to be the end of the run today here. That's going to be the end of the Sonic block. I want to say, firstly, a huge thank you to my 2 commentators, to RPG Hidden Wizard, who was here on the previous run, and to BenInSweden, who's been here for this one. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you for having me.
A couple of things I just want to let you guys know about. Firstly, if you're interested in Sonic speedrunning, please come and join the Sonic Speedrun community Discord server. We cover all the Sonic games. There's loads going on there. If you're interested in this game in particular, we have our own Sonic 3 Air speedrunning community. You'll find the link to the Discord on speedrun.com under Sonic 3 Air. A couple of events coming up. We have the Sonic Birthday Blast Marathon in June that's hosted by the Sonic Speedrun community. And we're going to be doing a tournament end of this month, Zaxton and friends, for Sonic 3 alone, Sonic Solo Glitchless. So lots of stuff going on around the Sonic Speedrun community. But other than that, I just want to say thank you very much for joining us for this. If you want to come see more of me, come join me on my Twitch channel at HUD601. But for now, I'm going to hand it back to Matt, and we're going to carry on with this marathon.
Well, thank you very much, Huds. Next up, we have Turkey 619 with Cyber Shadow any percent. Turkey usually does Shantae runs for UKSM, so it'll be great to see a new run entirely from Turkey. Like I did say, we're having some weird setup issues, so I'm going to go straight into the intermission screen, and we will be back as soon as we can be, and we'll see you all soon, hopefully at 5 past 5.